Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for joining us this Monday morning. Where I'm at, it's absolutely gorgeous here. We're going to get up into the 80s today, so it's a beautiful day. Get some yard work done this morning after I take my mom to her radiation and all that. But I wanted to introduce you to the gentleman who's going to open us up here. You know, this guy is just a straight up leader. I mean, he has that ability to just step in and take charge where need be. He's a thorough man. He knows what he's talking about, and when he speaks, people listen because he's always speaks from his heart. And I've had the privilege of being on teams with him for the last several months, and I've learned so much from him, how to just his energy and the way he gives to the group and to people is just incredible. So please help me welcome this morning the beautiful, the wonderful Jeff Myers.
Thank you, Bev. And yeah, everybody has to listen to me because I'm talking now. It's my turn. So, hey, today is going to be an interesting day. If you don't have a pen and paper, I would encourage you to write down kind of these steps and these plans and some hints and little tidbits. It's Motivational Monday, and as I was pulling things together with our team, we kind of discussed what we were going to talk about today. And you all know me, you've seen me talk before, and I pull from various resources, and then thoughts will flow out of my mouth. Sometimes they're organized, sometimes they're not. But while I was just talking, hopefully you were grabbing your pen and pencil, because there's two quotes today and several kind of topics or steps that I want you to capture if you choose to. So here's the quote. I'm going to read it twice. I get daily quotes from the Napoleon Hill Foundation, and this one showed up this morning, as well as another one I'm going to read today that I just wanted to throw in with what I was going to talk about, because they just fit. They fit well. So here's the one. This is from Napoleon Hill. Emotions. The subconscious mind is more susceptible to influence by impulses through thoughts mixed with feeling or emotion than those originally solely in the reasoning portion of the mind. Okay, I'm going to read it again because it's a thread throughout today's talk. Emotions. The subconscious mind is more susceptible to influence by impulses of thought mixed with feeling or emotion than those operating solely in the reasoning portion of the mind. So if you all remember the teaching from Napoleon Hill, that subconscious mind is really your antenna out to the ether, that you put it out there, you feel your emotion, you feel it, you smell it, you touch it. When you put those thoughts into your subconscious mind, you put them out, that's when the universe is listening and will start delivering to you. Interestingly enough, what comes back to you, have to sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't, but it's coming back to you. So we also talked about this theme of meditation. And I believe that meditation is an incredible way to gather energy, your energies from around you, and then focus them on a goal or something that you want to bring to you. So I just talked about subconscious mind. I talked about meditation and being able to focus. So I think it's a great way to focus those thoughts, get clarity, put them into your subconscious mind so they go out and you start receiving back. Okay, so quote. Now, the meditation is a piece that I want you to write down, because I think it is, as I've been practicing it, so much more is coming to me. So many more little bits of wisdom that I get to pull from various areas and make them my own wisdom. And I think that's one of the goals that I have, is to become wise. I'm not a wise guy, just wise. And then another thing I pulled and still am pulling from the talk that Lacey and Trish gave last week. The two words that, or the words that came to me during their talk was leaning into your future, or lean into whatever the topic is. You want to lean into it, and that for me is how I took that in. Is I mentioned that I was a runner at one time, and I used this technique called chi running, where you have good posture and you're basically leaning forward, and when you do that, gravity takes over and pulls you. Because you're leaning forward, you're going to be pulled to the ground. But if you're putting the right step in front of you, it's almost effortless, and you're running effortless and you're running smoothly. So lean into is a theme for today. And whatever your lean into is it one of the 7 pillars? Is it a daily task that you want to do? Is it a goal that you want to lean into? So goals, so meditation, lean into goals. I want to talk a little bit about goals. We talk about them. A lot of people write them down. We document them. 95 to 99% of the people put those goals down. After they've written down, they start collecting dust. We are different. We have a plan. We know where we want to go. We have a future. We have the tools that we're starting to build to allow those goals to become reality. You really have to constantly look at them, change them, adjust depending on the circumstances. But goal's a goal, measurable, by when. So the by when is interesting, because the idea of leaning into means you're going faster. And I believe by using these few techniques that I'm mentioning today, leaning into will actually bring the future closer. You know, time is relevant, but the items that you have in the future might start to accelerate towards you more if you're using these tools of emotion, feeding your subconscious, using meditation to gather energy and focus, leaning into setting goals. It's a great little plan, at least in my mind, that's going to help me bring things to me closer. And thank you, by the way, Trish and Lacey, for that great lesson. I love when I get to really pull something and use it over and over and over again. I'm really big into quotes and power quotes and things like that, because they make sense to me. I can chain them together. I can use them individually. I can use them for deep thought. I really enjoy them. Now I want to, so mixing all those things together. So if you were writing down that emotion thought from Napoleon Hill, using meditation or some form of focused thought to bring your energy together, to build your energy, because there's so many benefits of meditation besides your health and focus. Then the concept of leaning into whatever it is you want to lean into. Could be, like I said, pillars. What's your lowest pillar? Lean into it. Work on it faster. You're going to get your goals quicker. Whatever it is you want to focus on based on your meditation, based on what you want to put out there. I think this is a good way to approach it. So lean into is kind of the theme for the day and the steps that I just mentioned. Now I want to close my little section out with another quote that actually arrived this morning as well. And I thought, what a great quote that just kind of covers everything. And let me pull it up. This came to me from LinkedIn. I follow a lot of people on LinkedIn. This is from a CEO of a company that I follow. And this is a quote from Zig Ziglar. Life is an echo. What you send out comes back. What you sow, you reap. What you give, you get. What you see in others exists in you. I'm going to read that one more time. It's Zig Ziglar. Life is an echo. What you send out comes back. What you sow, you reap. What you give, you get. What you see in others exists in you. And if I were to kind of think about that one for a moment. That is so true. And it kind of mixes in quite a bit with the emotional aspect and putting things out into your subconscious mind and putting them out and letting them come back to you. Recognizing when those desires are coming back to you, being able to recognize and see them. So that's my little talk for today. Now I'm going to hand off to an incredibly gifted person who is sitting in 80-degree weather today, jealous, that has a heart of gold, who is passionate, focused. And this woman is focused. Has an incredible sense of humor, kindness. I could go on and on about the characteristics that I continue to see and pull and get to share with this person. She is someone I like. Again, I can't wait to get in a room with you and give you a big hug. But I'm going to pass off to none other than Bev.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. He always comes with the power, doesn't he? He definitely has some great insight. And I know when we were talking about today and what we were gonna, bring forth, when we started talking about that leaning into, it really made me think about that. This whole weekend, I've kind of spent some time meditating and on what am I trying to lean into and where are my personal weaknesses in my pillars in what I'm trying to accomplish here. And mine are what I'm really focusing on is nutritional and physical. It's kind of a journey for me, right? I mean, it's layers as I peel back layers of different things to move to the next thing. It's been kind of interesting to seriously sit back and kind of watch myself lead into what I need to for me. So it's been a fascinating thing. I mean, I when I sit here in the mornings, I kind of will pull some cards just to, asking my guides to give me messages. And of course, today it came back before Jeff even got on here was your thoughts create your reality. And they really do, don't they? I mean, you can be, you can be low vibe or you could be high vibe, and it's a choice every day. And, to create that, to lean into those areas you need to work on to keep your vibration high is really what we're supposed to be doing here. It's really our purpose on the earth. A little quote I have, and it's taped to my computer here. It says, "My words are charged with prospering power. All I speak now comes to pass. I'm receiving bountiful blessings that are sure to last." And I have that written on a little sticky note, just because, again, I want to make sure that, throughout the day, the things I say to myself, the things that Nancy and I discuss in my head, my inner voice, are my thoughts, and to put them into, words with each other that we talk about. It does. And I see it. Now that I'm really trying to be aware of all of that, when I allow Nancy to have this discussion in my head and I talk back with her instead of just stopping her at the tracks, when I join the conversation is when I get way off track. It's when I, get down into that low vibe, and when I'm not working on the things I need to work on. I urge you to take check of your inner voice and, the conversations you're having with yourself throughout the day. We're creating our own reality, however we want this to play out, and to lean into where we want to go, what we want to do, who we want to be tomorrow, the next day, and in the future, to not worry about the past and keep moving forward. So the pillars again that I am definitely working on is nutritional and physical. It's an ongoing lesson. I've been learning a lot. I've been digging in deeper on the next layer of my personal health and where I need to go. And I encourage you guys to do the same thing. Find where is your weakest personal link in your systems of what you're doing, and work on that. Get accountability partner. You know, talk to somebody about it. Have an open discussion. Get somebody else's thought process on how to break through to the next level of whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish or achieve or move forward with. So I strongly urge you to just kind of keep moving forward. Know that you're here to do this. We've got an incredible vehicle to personally help our nutrition level, our health, and you need to just kind of keep moving forward with your personal work on that. Um, Really, that's about all I had this morning. I just, I have to take ownership of that, of those pillars that I'm not work, that I need the most work on. The rest of them kind of are going to fall into place where they are. I've personally done a lot of spiritual and mental work, and that's part of this whole uh, being able to, try to train brain and do the meditations and things like that. So I urge you to keep practicing that meditation along with Jeff, because it changes your reality. Your thoughts absolutely create where you're at and what your reality is. So that's what I've got. Does anybody have anything they've been kind of leaning into since Trish and Lacey talked about that last week?
Can I say something?
Please.
Having Jeff as my strong position person, who is my accountability partner, as well as Colette, for me, it's really like, I never realized your thoughts manifest what you bring to you. And it makes it really, really obvious when I'm listening to Earl Shoaff every morning and every night, twice a day, which I've shared with everyone to listen to. And how when you start having doubt, you question, why isn't this happening? Why isn't this coming? Then you're already rejecting it. You're already putting up barriers. And that's been the loveliest twist for me, is when I see the car that I really want coming around. I don't see the exact model that I want, but it's close. And now it's more of knowing what I want and then trusting that it'll happen. And so not doubting that trust, making that a real statement within myself to know, I know exactly what I want, and I put it out, and you just have to release it. You have to let go. You don't want to be the farmer that digs it up all the time to see how the seedling is growing. And when I listened to Earl Shoaff, it's really amazing how I was doing everything really wrong, but how to learn how to have your hundreds of seeds, look at them, write them. Because when you write it down, you write it, you read it, and you feel it, you've got that magic triangle that makes that reality come so closer to you. And you're not allowed to doubt it. You're not allowed to ask when and how and what, because you're already doubting it. Just allow it to come. And even if you just try it for 30 days, it's something that just play with. But I can feel things changing. And, I was talking to Trish and Hannah, how we can feel something is changing in the air, and it's all positive. It's not negative. It's really positive. And just have that belief, that deep inner belief that that this is coming, and just trust it. I mean, really, a lot of the meditation, a lot of the pillars are not just only the financial, but it's all about the trust of how you can make it come to you as your reality. And for me, I trusted, but I didn't know how to. And I think this is the way I've suddenly understood, now I know how to trust. And it's a little strange twist, but it's just trust. Yep. Whether you're a religious person or not, it doesn't matter, but just trusting in what's coming forward. And that was the biggest shift that I felt in just the last couple of weeks. So,
absolutely, Tina, you're right. I can feel that there's a shift. I mean, the energy surrounding everything is moving fast. So when you were talking about writing it down, that's been one of my big things. Generally I'm not a writer, and I'm trying to write. I mean, I'm trying to put a book next to my bed, and in the morning, literally writing, my gratitudes in the morning and how the day went, and what I was thankful for that day. I think that is a big part of the shift. Also want to encourage you, this is the eve of a full moon. Write down your intentions of what you want to release to the world, to the universe. Write it down and go outside and burn it, release it up to the world, and let your intentions out there. I just, I think putting all of that into play is necessary, where we're at and what's going on in everything. So that was a great tip there, Tina, to make sure you write your wishes down, who you want to be. Hannah, I saw you answered around there. You've got something, I know you do.
Oh, I'm just fully in resonance with everything you're saying, and it's like we teach on here a lot. Thoughts become things, and those things, and like just a lot of times when thoughts come into our head. I was at a meditation group last night, and one of the comments someone made is, as soon as the sound therapy started happening, like all these thoughts, intrusive thoughts came in her head, and she's like, I didn't want to be thinking of the difficulties from my week, and so I made the choice right then that it's just like, nope, I get to react or respond to these versus react, and choose to focus on my breath, and and instead of being ruled by the things that pop into our head. And I just writing things down is a huge to me it feels like a superpower, because it's it goes from your brain through your body through your kinesiology out onto the paper, and there's just so much power in that. And with Trish and Lacey's teaching last week, like I love this book. I love the Four Agreements. I've read it so many times, and every time, I think I said this before, that I read it, it's something different speaks to me. And being impeccable with your word, just even that, like words matter, and how you use them, and they can be used for good or they can be used for damage and pain and different things. And so to not only be a good steward of your words, but also you get to control how I don't want to say control, but you get to really think about how other people's words affect you and what you allow into your aura, into your energy field. And so, yeah, just a lot of thoughts around that. So I loved all the insights today. You guys are incredible. I love learning from you. So thank you.
Awesome. Anybody else got anything they want to add to this?
Oh, just a quick comment on a great job, everybody. Thanks for sharing. It speaks to the Joe Dispenza book on becoming supernatural, and that the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between an inner experience and an outer experience. So he also talks about the pineal gland is this antenna and teaches you how to activate it, which haven't quite started those exercises yet, but like once you get it activated, you have these inner experiences that are so real, and your antenna gets going, and it's like kind of how the machinery works. It's like how you draw that. Everything is energy, and so you're just like, it's all possible, like the infinite possibilities of like, what are you going to attract? What things are you, just getting really that visceral experience, seeing it, feeling it, touching it, workings of the mind. It's very real, and it shows up in the energy world first, and then it slowly manifests into physical, right? So very cool.
Awesome. Yeah, it's just so true. It's so true. Anybody else want to add anything? Thoughts before we wrap it up here? Jeff, any closing words, Jeffrey?
Okay, everybody, you got your checklist. Use it if you like. I was mainly speaking to the men because the women already have all this stuff down. You guys, women are all tuned in. Us men, we need this. We need the checklist. But hey, everybody, lean into your week. Lean into what you need to do, and accelerate. All right, everyone, have a fantastic day.
Bye, you guys. Have a great day.